we had some great discussion so far. So let's continue. In the vein, Maxim Poulsen, head of growth at Contrast, will now lead us into product-led sales, your next step in growth. We're eager to hear what Maxim has to share. So over to you.
Hey Max, hey Olivia. Can you hear me well? Can you just
Yeah,
get a little
great.
confirmation before we get started? Perfect. Really appreciate the invitation. Are you guys staying on with me? We're gonna have a chat, or are you gonna be leaving?
Nice
Yes,
question.
we're gonna be leaving. And the stage
Yeah,
is
yeah,
yours.
we will just let's hide us.
That's fine. Okay. Hey everyone. Let me share my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Can I get a little confirmation maybe in chat? I also have chat open, so if you want to ask me any questions as we go, I'd be very happy to answer. So, mandatory presentations. My name is Maxim. I'm head of growth at Contrast. I take care of everything that has to do with growth in GTM. So we're a modern webinar platform. I won't bore you with a pitch. If you use HubSpot and run webinars, check us out. I think we're building something pretty cool. I'm also a content creator. If you don't follow me on LinkedIn, I highly recommend. A lot of go-to-market focused content. So as much for marketing and sales, but also some data and automation tips. I also make the funniest memes you'll find on LinkedIn, and I was voted most humble creator by myself. So yeah, I'd love to see you over on LinkedIn. Every Friday we have meme battles. It's a lot of fun. You should join me. And finally, I do a bit of GTM advising, seed and Series A companies, growth tooling and architecture, automation and data. Let's not spend too much time here. We're here to talk about product-led growth and product-led sales. So quickly before we get started, I love that this conversation comes after the one that they had with Lauren just previously, because aligning marketing and sales is not only mandatory to product-led growth, but I think it's one of the stepping stones to actually getting product-led growth right and enabling product-led sales. The same way that we need to align marketing and sales to enable product-led growth, we need to enable marketing, sales, product, and also customer success. So I want to start off by answering maybe two questions that you might have. You might be wondering, should I stay for this session? And I think the two biggest maybe pushbacks I would get on this talk is product-led growth is just a trend, a fad. It's gonna at some point it's gonna disappear. So I want to first talk about why product-led growth is happening, why it's important, and why it's here to stay. And second of all, I think a lot of salespeople are scared of product-led growth. If the product is selling for me, then what am I going to do? I'm going to get replaced, and that's not at all the case. So I want to explain what the impact of product-led growth is on sales and give some tips and tricks on where you can improve to be the top salesman or saleswoman in your product-led org. So let's start off by talking why product-led growth. If we look at the history of selling products, the first thing that comes to mind is the on-premise era. So this is a visual from OpenView. I'd highly recommend checking out their blog if you have time. In the 80s, in the 90s, how did we sell software? So we would send the sales team to the offices, maybe I think SAP is one of the very famous names we could think about on the on-premise era. You sell to the C-levels, decision makers. They install the systems on all of the computers. This is before the cloud. And then all of the users were made to use that license that was bought. Then we had our first revolution. Our first revolution is the cloud era. So suddenly we're no longer selling at a group level to everyone, but we're selling to executives and managers, and the product is available on a browser, or it's no longer something that's being downloaded, and we're selling seats. We're not selling licenses company-wide. So here we can think about Salesforce, and the way you buy SAP and the way you buy Salesforce is very different. Then another revolution we had, so the cloud era starts in the 2000s. In the 2010s, we have the age of PLG and connected work. So we start seeing tools like HubSpot or like Attio, and these are very different because it's not like Salesforce where you sell to the manager and it's distributed to the team. Think about the last time you bought a CRM or bought a tool. How did it happen? You went to the website, you signed up for a free account, you clicked around a bit, it looked cool, maybe someone reached out, and then you ended up buying. So we have tools like HubSpot where you can go to the HubSpot website and create a free account, start playing around with the platform, and you can also book a demo. But the pinnacle maybe of PLG is going to be tools like Attio, where you can't even book a demo on the website. And this leads to a whole category of tools that we're all very familiar with today: the Slacks, the Canvas, the Dropboxes, the Figma. Outbound is much less the way that they acquire users, but it's rather, we have free users coming into the platform, and once they've used the product a bit, we get them to buy. So this is a trend that we've been seeing for the past 20 years to what I would call the B2C-ization of B2B. The power is being shifted from the buyer to the end user. We used to take our software and sell it to the buyers, and now we're taking our software and sending it to end users. And end users are going to go see their buyer and say, oh, look at this really cool piece of software that I found. What if we bought a team license? So this is a very important shift that we're seeing. Why do I say it's the B2C-ization of B2B? Well, because that's how it works in your personal lives. You sign up to the free trial of Netflix, and you watch a few shows, the algorithm gets better, you're interested, and so you pay for your account. And this is exactly what we're seeing more and more of in B2B. So to sum it up, a low barrier to entry, a lot of low code, no code tools are making it easier to create products. More products means more competition, means also better products, and products that are built no longer for buyability, but built for the end user, for usability. So this is a trend that we're seeing across many, many, many different industries. And we're moving away from very high level selling to decision makers and rather convincing the user and selling bottom up. And this trend is only going to intensify as time goes by. So what is PLG? PLG is a growth model where product usage drives customer acquisition, retention, and expansion. And this is why, this is the main reason why PLG impacts sales teams. Because currently, well, it's the sales teams that are doing a lot of the acquisition, or that are negotiating the retention, or negotiating expansion deals. And if your org, if your company is making a transition to PLG and you still try to have the same responsibilities as you did before, you're going to be left behind. And this is why we need to sort of reevaluate the position of sales teams in product-led companies. To sum up PLG in one sentence, there's this three-word sentence by Leah, which is show, don't tell. So whereas in the SAP or the Salesforce era of selling, it was much more salespeople trying to convince people to buy. Telling the buyers, look how good our product is, you're going to be able to do this and to do that. But if we think about PLG companies, these companies aren't telling you what they do. They're showing you what they do. Netflix isn't telling you that they have a database of videos. They're showing you that they have all the shows you want and a good recommendation algorithm. So this is really, in essence, what PLG is. There are three important concepts you need to understand. The first one is the aha moment, which is the moment at which someone understands the value of the product. Second one is activation, which is when the user has done a certain amount of steps to show that they have an understanding of the product and they're ready to use. And the third one, time to value, is how long it takes to activate. And if we think about the traditional sales cycle, someone visits the website, downloads an ebook, books a demo, closed one, onboarding, where marketing is taking care of the ebook and we have our MQLs. They book a demo, they get qualified, SQLs, and then sales takes over, negotiation. And then down here, we have CS with onboarding. And the value that the user gets is so far away from when they first visit the website. Versus if we think about how a lot of modern PLG companies work, well, you visit the website, you try an interactive demo, and straight away, oh, this product looks really cool. Look what I can do. Maybe you were looking for a way to compress a PDF, and you got a product where, without having to sign up, you could instantly compress your PDF. So straight away, you have that aha moment. Then maybe the tool has a free sign up. So you go and you sign up, no credit card, no one bothering you. You can just go into the product, and through some in-app or in-product onboarding, you can see the value of the product. And this can happen in a couple of minutes. In 5 to 10 minutes, you can go through a demo, a sign up, and some onboarding. And this takes the aha moments and the time to value and activation down from what is potentially weeks or months or years to minutes. But for this to work, we need marketing, sales, and product all to be aligned. I'll even put customer success here. Let me make a little change, plus customer success. So you might be thinking, okay, if everyone's doing everything, what does this have to do with sales? And here I put 4 big question marks. Not everyone who activates is going to pay. Not everyone who understands your product is ready to buy. So sales still has a very, very important role here, transforming people who understand your product to people who are interested in buying your product. So we have a very important concept in PLG, which is the product qualified lead or the product qualified account. So maybe you have a free trial or a freemium account that you can create from your website. But you might be having hundreds or thousands of people signing up every week or every day. How do you prioritize? Who do you sell to first? And this is where comes in the concept of a product qualified lead or product qualified account. A product qualified lead is someone who is one in your ICP. So obviously, we're going to be prioritizing people that are in our ICP. 2, that have shown intent. Maybe they've seen the pricing page. Maybe they've talked to you on intercom. Maybe they've used the AI agent that Reply is releasing. Maybe they've seen some very bottom of funnel blog pages, and you're tracking all of that with Dream data. But something a little bit new here that we wouldn't see in MQLs, marketing qualified leads, or SQLs, sales qualified leads, is value. And this is done through the product. So how many users have they invited? What features have they used? Did they run into gated features? Did they try to use a feature and it wasn't available on their plan? And all of this information we can use to create a score to say, oh, this person understands the product and is potentially ready to buy. So from this score, we can create different tiers depending on how well they fit the customer, the ICP, and how well they fit product usage. And here is where something really interesting comes in, is this tier 2. If product usage is low, if you have maybe one of your target accounts that came in, that signed up, maybe worked a little bit in your product, clicked around, used some of the features, but then they left and they never came back. This is where even PLG motions need salespeople, because what the salesperson is going to do is they're going to look at everything that the account did in the product and say, oh, I saw that you created a campaign but didn't add any contacts, or that you created a campaign and you didn't use any of our AI features. And this is really where the sales team is going to be able to drive a lot more value than simply having to explain everything from A to Z. So PQLs is a very important notion to understand in the world of PLG. And here's also another impact that it has on sales teams is who defines the PQL? How do you get to this score? How do you need to be able to calculate if a person is a product qualified lead. And all the knowledge that the sales team has on these are the features people are interested in, or this is what people do before buying, or this is what people like to use and is a good signal for them to be ready to buy. All of this goes into calculating a product qualified lead or product qualified account. Product qualified account is going to be a bunch of users that you score on an account level, not on an individual level. So that in essence is PLG and the role of sales in a PLG model. Now, let's talk about specifically product-led sales. So what do you need to make PLS, product-led sales, work? First of all, you need access to product data. So Laura mentioned this earlier. They have their product, they have an ETL that gets their data in their warehouse, and then they reverse ETL or send that data back out into their operational tools to be able to tell their sales team, oh, this person did this person did that. They might be ready to buy. For smaller companies, you might not have a data warehouse, you might not have an ETL. A tool like June or with some automation tools like Zapier or Anaden is perfect for setting this up. So first condition is access to product data. The second condition is you need a framework to contact users. As in, you need to know who you're telling, what, and when. So I'll give you some examples in just a second. What does this mean for sales team? This means that sales teams will now leverage product data to find ready-to-close deals. They're going to look for people that were active in the product, that are in the ICP, and that maybe just need that little extra push to close. And they also now need to work with the marketing team, with the customer success team, with the product team to create and refine the framework, pushing people to buy. So this is going to be sales involved in writing onboarding messages or building the onboarding sequence, or sales creating content with the marketing team. This goes back to what the previous panel was talking about, being aligned sales and marketing. And all of this shouldn't be scary. It should actually be an incredibly interesting opportunity, because you no longer need to explain the basic features of your product. The product does it itself. You can rely on the product to be more efficient. If you go through a demo, you need to show them everything. You can say, oh, go and create an account and call me if you have any questions. So we're really increasing the efficiency of sales. And this is a really important one. Sales is becoming much more of a consultant role. It's where can they bring value as individuals rather than just being another person who runs demos, answering the same questions again and again. The product answers the recurring questions. You become an expert that prospects can rely on to ask questions. And the final part is, well, sales only intervenes to close bigger deals. So an example would be if you have 5 or 10 users from the same company that are all using your product, you can say, oh, I'm going to contact the manager and negotiate an enterprise deal. Or maybe they have 100 users, so you can sell them 100 seats. And that the product won't be able to do. But you as a salesperson will be able to go in, negotiate, understand how all those users are organized, and send that high-value email to the decision maker. The last thing I want to talk about, and we are short for time, how to be a top seller if your company does product-led sales. 1, learn to make the most out of your tools. Become a master at using your dashboard, your CRM, and figure out how to look for signals that show that someone's ready to buy. 2, change your approach. Using product data is the most valuable information that you're going to have on how much someone knows about your product. Learn to find gaps between product usage and what a company needs, and use that as a trigger to email the company, for example. And the last one is build better internal relationships, that is within your company. Make friends with product managers, content teams, operation teams. They're going to be the ones feeding you with the product qualified leads. They're going to be the ones feeding you with all of this data that you can leverage. And yeah, they're going to be your biggest allies in product-led everything. So I know we're straight on time. If we have any questions in chat, I'd love to answer them. I hope all of this made sense. And yeah.